Here is how I use the Pocket Osmo 3 on wedding days. Now, really quick, why should you listen to this short Spanish guy talking right in front of you right now? And the reason why is because my calendar looks like this every single month. Well, not every single month because, you know, depending on where you live, there are seasons. But majority of months, my calendar looks like this. And if you don't believe me that my calendar looks like this, where I'm filming every single weekend, multiple times a weekend, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. It's at ALBE and 5 Ys at the end. It's kind of hard to pretend that you're at weddings every single weekend, multiple times a week, unless you're actually at weddings, okay? So go ahead and give me a follow. All right, with that being said, I've tried a lot of things, and I absolutely love using this Pocket Osmo 3 in my workflow to go ahead and film clients. And I'm going to break down the 4 different types of ways that I use the Pocket Osmo 3. All right, there's 4 different types of ways that I use it. The very first type of way that I use this Pocket Osmo 3 is with wide shots. All of my wide shots or gimbal movements, and I'm going to show you some examples right now. All of my wide shots, all of my gimbal movements that I need to be running is with the Osmo, running gun shots. Any of my, like, oh my gosh, I forgot the term of it. Establishing shots. There it is. Any of my establishing shots that I need of the venue, of the ceremony, even in low light conditions, I will use the Osmo for this. All right. So it's pretty straightforward. Any wide shots is coming in handy with this Osmo, or any running gun scenarios where I need to be walking. This is also what I'm going to be using as well. Next up, the next way that I use this Pocket Osmo 3 is during first looks or first touches. Now, recently, I just did a wedding for one of my good friends, Tanner, and he was doing a first touch. Okay, so either it's first touch or first looks. I put the camera on this right here. All right, this is a product by Lume Cube. I'll put a picture of exactly what this is, but you can press this on the bottom. It opens up. You can go like this. It gets pretty long, actually. It's crazy how long this thing gets. All right, and it's going to be out of the frame, but here is the stands. I kind of put this down. I attach. If you get the creator kit, I attach this on the bottom. And usually this lives on the tripod. This part right here lives on, this is not a tripod. This whatever stand this is, I don't even know what to call it, but I know it's a Lume Cube product. But it's the quarter 20 thread on the bottom. The Pocket Osmo doesn't have just the quarter 20 thread on the bottom. Normally there is a charging feature on it. So I kind of just leave this on. Here, I'll give you guys an example. I'll leave this quarter 20 thread kind of like this. Just like that, but pretend it's raised up. On a wedding day, I'll just kind of have it hanging out. So then when I need to throw it and get it on a tripod or whatever this thing is called, I can go boop. And now I can use it like a tripod. So the reason why I'm bringing this up about my friend Tanner recently, I just did his wedding. I'm going to give an example. I'll show you an example of it right now. He was in a position where it was on this balcony, like a house with I wouldn't say it's a balcony, like a deck, just a deck. And there was a fence. Now, I wanted a wide shot and I wanted a tight shot, and I'm doing this all solo. By the way, I shoot 90% of my weddings 100% solo by myself. So that's the reason why I have these run and gun things. And by the way, I really love how light this is. I can walk around with this. I can fold it up just like this. The one reason why I really love this setup right here is how light it is. I used to go around and carry like tripods and a camera, and it was so heavy for first looks to get a wide shot. I'm only one shooter, so having this in my, I can just carry around with, And I shoot everything handheld, by the way, guys. So that's another thing. I shoot everything handheld so I can always have a hand like this. And when I get to my spot that I need, I go ahead and pop this open, put it down on the ground, and I'm ready to go and have my tight shot with my handheld. Okay. But very recently with my friend Tanner, I really love the fact that I couldn't have gotten this shot with a normal camera, with a normal tripod and with a normal camera. It would have been way too big. It would have been way too much in their face. I was able to put this setup right here tucked in the corner of this deck, and you couldn't even see it. You literally, like, the deck had a pole and the Osmo was right behind it. It was amazing. It was so discreet is what I'm trying to say. It was so discreet. So I really, really love using the Pocket Osmo 3 for the first looks and the first touches. And yeah, that's another scenario. That's number 2, another scenario. Second time, that is the second way that I use the Pocket Osmo 3. Okay. Next up is for ceremony. So quick thing. I shoot everything solo. I'm a solo wedding filmmaker unless someone pays me $3,500 and over. Then I'll actually bring a second shooter. But if they're not doing that, I'm not bringing out a second shooter. Okay. So for ceremony, I have 3 cameras on the tripod, big boy cameras. All right. And then I have 1 camera, this Pocket Osmo 3, on a tripod. So technically I have 4 cameras on the tripod and 1 camera solo. And I do this for every single wedding. Every single wedding, guys, completely solo. It's really not that hard. Tripods are magic. Okay. So the way I use this, the Pocket Osmo 3, is with this same stand, right? I have this same stand. I'm shooting the Pocket Osmo away. So the 3 camera setup that I have at ceremony are facing the altar. So I got 1 camera in the back getting a safety shot, 1 camera dedicated for the groom, and another camera on the other angle just getting, it's technically for the bride, but the bride, isn't walking down the aisle yet. And I'm only using this specific setup just for people walking down the aisle. It's just another angle. It's facing the direction that people are walking down, because sometimes as a solo shooter, it's hard to video people walking down the aisle and then also get the camera set up for the groom, for him to walk, to get his reaction. You might miss a couple people depending on the scenario. You might miss a couple people walking down the aisle. Okay. So this is like my safety shooting forward. I will not miss someone walking down the aisle because the Pocket Osmo is going to get them. Okay. Next up, so that was the third way I use the Pocket Osmo 3. Next up is dancing and reception in the low light. Oh my gosh, let's talk about the low light capabilities of this Pocket Osmo 3. Okay, so this Pocket Osmo 3 has a low light feature, and I'm just going to give you some examples right now of the low light. It is mind-blowing. I don't always use it for dancing, meaning like everyone dancing and stuff like that, because to be completely honest, although the low light capabilities are great, there are some scenarios where it's just not that good. And you kind of gotta, try it out to see if it works good for you. But I would say in terms of the low light capabilities, this camera alone with the small sensor that it has on it is pretty remarkable in terms of the low light capabilities. So therefore, I do take it out and I get wide shots of people doing their first dances, first dance with the couples, with the groom's mother, their first dance, and then also everyone partying at reception. Again, partying at reception is usually kind of a hit or miss depending on the lighting situation that you have. Sometimes I have a little light and I walk around like this. Okay. And that's pretty much it. This is the 4 different ways that I use the Pocket Osmo 3 on wedding days. And I personally think you should start incorporating it, bringing it on weddings with you. Okay. So I hope this helped. Peace.